Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Slingy's Things. This time we're taking a look at the very frightening Hammond Collection Jurassic World Scorpios Rex. Here he is, we finally got him. And this is one really crazy looking figure. I think he's definitely one of the most unique figures we've had yet, especially in this large size. So I'm going to look him over and tell you what I think on my first impressions and from playing with them for a little bit. I did just get this guy today. So this is pretty much my initial review and thoughts after some handling. So right off the gate, right out of Beyond the Gates, we'll just take a look at how this guy looks. And I think on his own, he is a pretty cool looking figure. I think he's got a lot of shelf presence and he's quite large. I do think that he doesn't look totally accurate to the source material. These teeth, he doesn't have teeth like that, does he? I don't think so. I think that's a little bit strange, the ones that... Let's get him open. Do you see that? These things? Can someone tell me? I looked at a picture and I don't think he had teeth like that. Super weird. I don't hate them, but they're interesting. Yeah, I don't think he has the most accurate design, especially in this face area. But just as on its own, it's very cool. You'll notice that he does not have glass eyes, which is a bit of a bummer, considering other Hammond Collection figures in this scale did have glass eyes. That is a bit disappointing. You'll also notice there is no finger paint. I think, so when I was just looking at the box that he was in, he definitely, I don't think, had black fingernails. Again, I could be wrong. I don't know if the box is the best thing to go off of, but even in the box he had colored fingernails. They just appear to be black here. Doesn't bother me too much. They're also very soft hands. Let's turn him around. He has a nice underbelly color, which I quite like. No issues there. He also has, I think, a bit of a different color on these some of these bulbous things. Yeah, he's a looker, I'll tell you that. We got a little nub of plastic right here. That's not a big deal. I think it's because these are a bit soft. Okay, let's get him twisted around. Okay. All right, so other thoughts on articulation. I think his arms are excellent. You know, he can kind of T-pose it out. I'm sorry, he doesn't totally fit in here because that tail's pretty big. Great arms, super expressive, good hinges. I do think the arms feel great. I love the arms. I don't have any complaints there. I will say I had to heat up the legs. That's not a huge deal. You can see that this, I don't know what's going on there. Just some paint. I don't think it's paint rub. It probably came that way. Not a big deal. I did have to heat up the legs because one leg just didn't want to move at all. That's fine. It's, kind of part of the course. I will say the articulation's a bit weird here. Because there's swivels at like the knee. You can go backwards. That's just how creepy he is. I might need to heat it up again. This one was a bit weird. You see how it swivels? I mean, you could probably do a super funny sitting pose with that, but it makes him a little odd to handle. This one moves really good, so yeah, just have to loosen that one up. So you just have to be careful with posing him. You see he gets kind of like a weird bow-legged thing, so just kind of playing around with the joints to get his legs situated. His tail, this is a problem also with the Hammond Collection Indominus Rex. I think it's because they just used a lot of material here. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think it did this with the Hammond Collection Brachiosaurus too. I have that one, but I didn't twist his neck much. It wrinkles pretty badly. Like, to the point where it's, like, ugly. But I also wonder if it would damage the figure over time. Look at that. Ugh. Like, it's not hard to move it, but I wouldn't feel comfortable leaving it in positions like that. You see what I mean? I don't recall being that bad in some of the other Hammond Collection figures. Again, sorry, not some of them, yes. But I don't think, I don't feel like I had that much of a problem with it on the Spinosaurus and Giganotosaurus, at least the ones I have. I could be wrong. And then here's one other thing I really don't like about this figure. All right, check it out. Do you see that? He has a neck swivel. Ew. Look at that. I was worried about this from the promotional pictures. I'm not really happy that they did that. I'm guessing they did that for looks. I feel like maybe they could have figured out a way to not do that, but I'm not a fan of that. He cannot turn his neck too much. Actually, it's better on this side than that. Okay, so he can turn it like that, but his head, which you would find on maybe like the Allosaurus, I believe, would be able to twist this part to get a better turn. He cannot do that. You can do that, which is cool. You will have it coming over. It's not terrible, but that is a bit disappointing. I would have liked it so he could like look over his shoulder a little bit better. And it just doesn't look that great. But it can go up and down pretty good. Again, if it had a joint in here, we could have brought that down, but this is actually as far as it will go. I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm sorry. I love the neck articulation. It adds so much to a dinosaur. Here, give me a second. Let me just get the pinnacle of neck articulation, I think, for Hammond Collection. I have them right here. You can also get a good size comparison here. Excuse me, Scorpios. Check. Let's look at that. So see, if his neck was like that, it couldn't do much, but this head joint really provides, some, just, I think, a lot more character. These guys' tails are so big, I'm not, everything over. Definitely bigger than the Allosaurus. If you look at the hunched back there. Sorry, they want to keep getting, so you can see the difference there. He's got a big hunched back, which makes him taller. Oh, let's take a look at the tail. Maybe I'm wrong. No, I think this looks way better. Do you see that? There are wrinkles, but it's not nearly as bad. Not in any direction I pose it in. That is, and they're not that different in size, so it's a bit disappointing to see that. And then this guy actually, they're going something different. We don't got the glass eyes anymore, but we get accessories, and his accessories are, I already swapped out one of the hands. They're different hands. Sorry, get you out of the way just so we can take a better look. These are the different hands. They are so subtly different. This is a problem with the Indominus Hammond Collection as well. I mean, they're different, sure, but are they enough that it was worth it? Like, if you see the difference, this finger is pointing out a bit more. So is this one. It's just like flexed, slightly different. I don't really think that this was necessary at all. If you're going to do hands, I would like to see them closed or like fully flexed out. Especially with the Indominus, and she actually does something with her hands. And you can put her on 4 legs. And then we've got this beautiful drool. It's squishy. Let's open it up. You just got to get underneath those soft, squishy teeth. These are really soft teeth. Okay, and by the way, the jaw only opens up on the bottom, so no upwards motion here. I haven't totally figured out how to get this in. You have to kind of, I think, work with it. Okay, so I could probably do a better job. I did it better earlier. Okay, sort of like that. I don't hate it. I feel like there's more of a case for this than like the hands that are barely any different. It's an interesting piece for display. It's fine. So yeah, see, I can't get him to look sideways or anything, but that's as good as you're gonna get. He would have looked so cool with glass eyes too. Anyway, a quick comparison. We're gonna get it with the Sinoceratops. He's definitely quite a bit taller. I think you could do some cool posing with that. The Ghost Atrociraptor. And I don't even know what series this one's from, but you got Jar Jar Binks. There, yeah. He's got a gun. So that could be pretty cool. But anyway, so that's pretty much my thoughts. Again, as someone who's collected the other Hammond Collection figures, this line and this one, where they're starting to put in these interchangeable parts, I'm not personally a big fan. I don't really want extra parts hanging around in my house. And it's not like I'm there. The hands aren't even different enough, I think, to justify their existence whatsoever. They're just way too similar to each other. So Hammond Collection has always experimented a little bit, and I'm sure that this is probably not always going to be the way they do things. But I'm of the opinion, let's bring back some glass eyes. We don't, I mean, this is, again, my opinion. I don't really need these accessories unless they're going to be really unique and interesting. But overall, I do really like this figure. I'm glad I got it. I think he's a very unique addition to the Hammond Collection. Can someone still tell me about these teeth? Am I wrong? Also, the teeth kind of, do the other figures do this too? How you can just see the line of them all the way through. I don't know. Again, very cool. Will make a great addition to your collection if this is a dinosaur that you're interested in. If not, he certainly stands out. If not for just sheer ugliness alone. Because he is a beaut. Okay, well, so, sorry that was a bit of a long one, but thank you for watching. Stay tuned at the end for some photos with this dinosaur. And I'll see you next time. Bye.